Good morning. This is an Elliott Wave intraday update for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500. And I'm recording on Thursday, August the 7th at 8:20 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. As I started it with the morning report this morning, that I had felt that the market still had some upside to complete here in the NASDAQ before it would have completed the minuette B wave. Well, we got it, but barely going above the high that was created yesterday, but it did hit on the nose the 100% where wave C would be equal to wave A at 23,671. And that was the high. 671 was the high. So, and then the market started to slide off. Now, I felt that the news in Apple, and it still might, folks, it still might, because it's walking in right now and buying it. And it's like they're buying Apple, they're buying AMD, they're buying Nvidia, they turn Tesla from positive to negative. When they step back in and they decide, okay, we're going to start buying these stocks again, it does push the indexes all over the place. So, but because of this morning's downswing, it kind of leaves it where it looks like it has come down too far to be a part of that C wave. So I'm going to leave this in place for right now. But please understand that the market is so sketchy right now because they're flipping it around. They're buying into Apple based on the news, and now they're moving in solidly, which I was expecting them to do on the opening, and they didn't. But now they want it, they want it. But as soon as they're done, as soon as these buyers are done, it slides. So I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm going to leave it as if that the minuet B wave is complete and that we're starting to drop in a C wave. What does that say? Well, we would definitely, break it down to the 15-minute chart. We can take a quicker look and get this open. Well, initially, to give us some confirmation, we're looking for, 5 waves down. On my 15-minute, best I can tell you, it's an ABC to that low. And now they're pushing it up again. And if that's the case, I gotta say, it pushes that 4 back over to here, the 3 back over to there, and we run. And that would then suggest, going back out to the hourly chart, that we go up further, likely to, I think, a 0.786, which is about 23,000. I'm going to say it's going to be right up in here somewhere that we could run up to and then still complete that B wave and still drop down. And I had put up earlier this morning, so you're going to have to reference that because I've taken them off for right now, that we could still, this could be an A wave, but 3, a B wave, still going to be 3, and it can go irregular, which suggests 24,000 before we return and come down in the C wave. Now that all remains in the background right now because of how things are trading. But I'm telling you, it's nuts because it's really the options trading. It's how they're moving in and out. It's how things are scheduled because we have other stocks that are down. We have the Dow down 230. It was just down 250. So the Dow is down. The S&P was down about 2 or 3. Now it's up 3. The Russell down on the day. So what's really supporting all of this are Apple, AMD, Broadcom, Nvidia, and a little bit coming out of Tesla when it's in the mood. So when you've got the big Mag 7 stocks totally in control of what happens to the whole index, it's not a clean picture. But accordingly, on an Elliott basis, I have to follow what the market is telling me. We have to follow what the market is telling me. And so based on that, It's still out there that the possibility that this B wave is still in progress and we're going to come flipping back up and go to new highs yet again. Now, that's not a guarantee. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but right now I'm watching them push Apple back up to 220. And if they take it above 220, it alone will bring it all the way. Because along with that, NVIDIA will get back above 183, maybe go to 184 and start heading to new all-time highs. And if it does that, here we go. Two stocks. Now, I'm going to tell you about this. You can go to www.slickcharts.com, SLICK charts.com. That's going to give you the breakdown to all of these ETFs. And all you have to do, look at the NASDAQ 100 and look at the weighting in these stocks. And what I mean by that is that all of the indexes that we trade are cap weighted. And so when you go in and you look, that sitting at the top of the food chain right now, NVIDIA, Apple. Apple's number one, NVIDIA's number two. I believe that Microsoft's up there, Tesla's up there, Amazon's up there, Broadcom is up there. The first, if you look over at the S&P, the first non-tech stock in the top 10 for the S&P is Berkshire Hathaway. And that kind of remains there. But always, you've got the first 8 or 9 are all tech and Mag 7. So still, it's the way the indexes are constructed. There's nothing we can do. But we will follow what the Elliott is telling us, because if those Mag 7 stocks are going to hold the index, fine. Then we'll look for these levels. But right now, it's just a bounce. When they're done and they start selling it again, I think it comes back down. So I'm going to leave it like this for right now. But cautious. I'm cautious about what comes next, because it really could just start to break and drop. Now, that's not saying anything about the future for Apple. It really is not. They came out with some pretty strong news, but they've got to put all that money out and they got to build all those factories to produce all that stuff here in the US. That's not been done yet. So are we jumping the gun and we got to get into Apple now before it explodes? It's like, maybe. So even that could wear off and then we start to come back down. Not saying that's what's going to happen today, but I keep in mind. So, but I'm going to continue to just kind of use the technical analysis. And right now, I got a fair shot that that B wave is done. And the reason being the strength of this initial drop. Now, this is just a bounce off of that. Maybe we get up to, let me see where we are, 67, 567. And maybe we'll get through it. Maybe you can get a 50% retracement. Maybe you get a little bit more. But I think that we're going to break below. This is the 30 period moving average at 23,506. We're bouncing off of that. We got down too close to it. And if it changes its mind, then it's going to break it. And then next up, we got a lot of places in between. We've got this previous, that would be a previous 4, by the way, now. That's at 23,454. Then we have 23,355. This is 78. The 200 is sitting at 23,334. Those will all provide some support. Maybe we get a bounce, but C wave is going to be 5. So we're in that first wave down. And so I'm going to leave it right there. And moving average coming right off of, not moving average, RSI coming right off of the levels that it should, right? It was oversold, overbought, and now it's correcting. Now, spot gamma levels, folks, remain the same. Keep an eye on the Qs. Please keep an eye on the Qs. The Qs have come back down below 570. 570 remains the call wall. They've reinstated it. It may change, but right now it's back below the call wall. And if it continues to trade lower, it's going to start to slide. And then I gave those levels this morning on the NASDAQ. It's in the morning update. Go and get them. They're very important because on the way down, if it starts to break, we might get an acceleration in the downside. All right, let's take a look at the S&P. S&P, boy, I mean, it truly has been a chop fest this morning. But look at this. The S&P is way further underway. And the true sign is going to come if it breaks below 58, 63.58. If it breaks, that will be overlapping. So therefore, it couldn't be a 4. And even if we look at it, even within this, um, excuse me, I need to change that. Even within the C wave up, that it's come way, way down for 4. So it's within wave C, and it's really already come back, probably 50%. Well, not quite. Well, actually, maybe. It's gone through 236, 382 is 63.38, and that's going to break that, and therefore give confirmation that this is done. So the C wave is done, and the minuette B wave are done. That is, again, what brought about that I was going to make this update. The NASDAQ still, unless they really walk away from the buying that they're doing in the stocks that are moving today, then we will continue to decline. And the S&P is closer to the lows than, well, the NASDAQ is as well. So in any case, here are our markers for the way back down. And I want to put it in the right color and get it all set up for us. And come on. And get these out of there. Now, I think we might find some support at 3. I'm going to leave them up, but they're just passing support. We might stop, we might bounce, we might trade around, but I don't think that they necessarily hold. So our first marker is going to be that 100%, and we're wave. The now C wave would be equal to the A wave. And you know where that is? 61.95. 236 for the minute 4 is at 61.51. 1.618 is 6,053. And 382 is at 59.54. And I'm thinking that ultimately, I think we end up down in between these to finish that minute 4. How quick? God only knows. Because we keep getting a little bit of bullish touches here and there. So I think that all things are possible right now. But I'm looking for here, let's take a look on the 15-minute to see what it looks like. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. We get a little 4, we come back down to 5, and then the S&P will have put 5 down. And that could be wave 1 of this. It would be sub-minuette wave 1 of minuette C coming down. And that could get us to 63.38, maybe even a little bit below. Again, confirmation is going to come if and when we break 63, below 63.58. So, and that's where I'm going to leave it. And we're seeing these things start to turn on the 15-minute. The hourly chart's still not looking bad. I can go out to the daily and it's looking fine. Now, the move itself is kind of big. But the market itself, in terms of moving averages, are looking pretty good. The hourly chart, we've now come down. On the S&P, we've broken the hourly 200 and the hourly 78. They're trading right around them, but they broke them. Continued downside starts to put a negative pull on the market because we've already broken the 8, we've already broken the 30, and we're coming down. So, and it's coming down in a nature that I would expect. I would expect it to be kind of quick, coming off as it does. Day trading, be careful. Be careful. Either one of these, when they come in to buy Apple, when they come in to buy NVIDIA, when they come in to buy these stocks, they move. And it moves the index. And If you're trading the mini, it can really cost you real quick. Okay, I'm going to finish there and get this posted. And the next update will be the daily.